suppose like as long as you go in with a teammate and now you're also attacking when they get attacked as a core, then you're doing way more damage. So I'll be curious to see how it comes into play. It might be hard to see if like there's a whole bunch going on in the fight, but should be fun. The Marcy will start a lot slower than Sven though. No natural farming mechanic. So if you do not have a good lane, I mean, we might just never see her pick up. But fortunately, she does have a Weaver with her, which is one of the strongest laners, I would say. So if they can get her a good start, maybe pick up a couple kills, that could accelerate her to try to at least somewhat keep up with a great cleave Sven. And if he has any stacks on his team, we've seen Sven before, right? He just skyrockets in net worth.
I've played the hero once or twice. Yeah, I think I kind of get where it goes. The thing is too, like you said, they have a really good mid-game timing on G2.iG, right? Like, if Sven has a good start and a good lane, you can play around this like tiny blink dagger, the clockwork darkseer. Like these heroes can all get online and start looking for kills at a relatively early timing. So we'll see what happens. It is game 1 here between Beast Coast and G2.iG. We are halfway through day 2 of the play-ins, everybody. So if you're just tuning in, welcome. Hope you've had a good day so far. It's about to get better. We've got some fantastic teams going head-to-head. I want to highlight Lumpy for a moment, because yesterday we saw one of the best Void Spirit performances I think we've seen in a hot minute. And they've got him on another similar hero, the Ember Spirit here in the mid lane.
Yeah, Lumpy
expecting some big things here.
He was tearing it up last game, which he could do something, or not last game, last series we watched him. He actually played a series before this. He can do something very similar, which is that he was constantly going in first, just finding the info for his team, getting different. Ember his bunch towards the Darkseer and the Sven. If you can take them out really quickly in a team fight, then you're removing either all the auras and the wombo vacuum wall combo, or you're just taking out that carry Sven.
Yeah. It's one thing that people like, we talked about, Hoodwink being such a good pick, and people are probably wondering like why is Hoodwink so good? If when you get a chance later in this game around the 10-minute mark, we'll take a look at the damage dealt by heroes, and I will bet you it is the Hoodwink at the top of the chart. Every single time it is Hoodwink. It is ridiculous how much damage this hero does. Mid lane, NTS actually getting a pretty good start here. A lot of harassment into Lumpy as his bottles both get delivered. It is pretty standard for, Tinies to have a really good start in lanes, obviously. Amazing deny potential with the tree grab. Top lane, X-Nova actually taking a beating as well. Centaur Stomp doesn't help him, and there's the first blood to Vitaly's Underlord. A lot of bonus damage under that Atrophy aura. And I am happy to see, finally, someone taking the Abyssal Cleave on this guy. Because it is by far the better talent. It is by far the better facet. I do not care what anyone says.
Sven at home.
It is so good, and it is insanely underrated.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I talk me through it. Why do you like the cleave so much?
You give up like massive farming potential for 5% move speed when you ult. That is the trade-off.
Okay,
there's no way that's worth it.
Abyssal Horde comes out too.
There's no way, dude. They target creeps, man. If they fix onto them where they only target heroes or something, I would be like, okay, it's good. But
the ones that spawn on the heroes target the heroes.
Kinda. Sometimes they lose vision and then they're just like, oh, a creep, and then they go and hit creeps. Bottom lane, Bobica in trouble. Pyke unable to secure the kill there. They do manage to just run away. Very nice, but Dispose puts JT into the danger zone. He'll be all right, though. Ooh, Bobica, nice bait there on the south. Oh, that's a value
nice
cog right there.
Oh, that range creep taking that cog for the Marcy. I do think the Abyssal Horde is pretty good if you're trying to play faster tempo and more emphasis on the global rotations, but this cleave talent does seem to help with like the laning stage farm and general harass, which is maybe where they want to put the emphasis on, slowing down the Sven, dealing with this really strong lane in the Enchantress.
Uh-oh. Nothing to say. In some trouble. Blood Grenade from Bobica, but that Sleight of Fist is definitely going to finish the job. Well played for Bobica, and a worthwhile rotation in the mid lane. JT should be fine bottom as a result, but that solo kill in the mid lane is going to help out this Ember quite a bit in the XP department. And the longer Tiny gets to level 6, the more value that Blightstone is going to be until he gets that armor.
It also means he's going to have a level advantage here, level 5 off that kill. Actually, not much of a level advantage because Tiny was denying him, so actually it's more like just even again. But I mean, that's in a way that's ahead of where you're supposed to be, right? Because this is supposed to be a Tiny who out denies you and slows down your 6, and then you can't rotate. But now you should be right on track as if you weren't even dealing with him.
Triangle here, but there's 2 wards actually in this top river set up to try and give some vision. The one placed at the beginning of the game about to expire, and they get a second one up onto the high ground there. Ooh, bottom lane. No, they're okay. I'm trying to... it's one of those things I haven't really seen all that often, is whether or not Battery Assault can interrupt a rebound. You know, like if she's like mid-rebound, if she gets mini-stunned, does it cancel it? I'm sure we'll see it at some point this game, but it's like, it was just occurring to me, I was like, yeah, you should be able to get a cogs, but like, what if the rebound gets canceled by a, you know, a single little battery assault?
Does it not still continue? I thought she just lands stunned.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You might be right. Ooh, bottom lane rotation from the Enchantress. Doesn't actually have a stun here, but Bobica just gets surged on in. There's the rebound, though, El Micho. Very good rotation, and here is now. In comes Moose on the Weaver, Blood Grenade, and the Swarm. Just rips right through this Darkseers. Now they got to look for this Clockwork. They have mana. They should be able to chase the cogs up in a couple of seconds. Moose is protected by the ice armor, but the tree bounce trick shot is so much damage. Moose, he needs one more Sakuchi to try and close the gap here. Will he make it under the tower? Bobica's out. Very nice, but he's going to lose his Wisdom Rune here, I think.
Yeah, they're set up to go for this. JT,
oh, the tree bounce! No way!
Wow.
This is why tree bounce is so good. It is a guaranteed double strike every single time. The 7-minute Wisdom Rune goes to Moose as well. The support's level 5 as Vitali backs to grab the other. That is a huge win in just the experience. Look at the Enchantress, bro. Level 3. They are going to get a stack here at least, but that is really, really big news for Beast Coast there.
Getting a little deep, but actually the Underlord coming in.
No Abyssal Horde here, though. Rotation. And with Tiny coming through, he has a lot of damage off the mark there with El Micho. As Moose continue to play off onto the side, there's going to be the Swarm and Ember coming through. They're going to maybe just settle for JT. And they do get him. Nothing to say, will be forced back to his base. As another really solid rotation comes out from Beast Coast. They could just look for this tier 1 tower, at least get a little bit of damage in there, as Lumpy needs to make his way back to the mid lane. And that is the Underlord presence, man. That instant rotation to the bottom lane. He'll TP back up to the top side.
The last 2 minutes were just crazy for Beast Coast, starting with G2.iG's. What I thought was actually a really good rotation because they knew Marcy was low, Enchantress dive, right? The usual. But she's one of the few carries who has the mobility escape on the rebound. So a teleport comes in, she gets out of that kill attempt, they get the return, they get the Wisdom Rune. Off of that level spike, they get another series of kills in this bottom lane with the Underlord rotating in. So now they're in a really good spot. 6-1, 1K advantage already. But I think the big win is the XP. Both supports nearly level 6 already. Compared to the side of G2.iG, where Darkseer is not even level 6 yet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be problematic as soon as Sharpshooter comes through. Like, the time lapse is nice, and it makes him a little bit more slippery to actually find kills, but it is always the hoodwink Sharpshooter timing that you have to be very careful of, because any of these heroes that are just sitting below 1,000 HP are going to die to the hoodwink combo. So, yeah, and El Misho soaking a little bit here in the mid lane, just waiting. He's like, Lumpy, you mind killing that creep wave for me? And there we go.
6 online. He does have 1 point in Searing Chains already, so just the 2 of them alone, you could set up the chains into
Instant
Bushwhack. Yep, they're looking bottom, it seems. Maybe if you can get the Darkseer again, they know he's already set back off this lane and then 2 deaths.
They're going to go into the triangle instead. Vitaly top lane stunned up. Monet's actually popped the God Strength here, but they're actually bringing in the whole team. Uh-oh, Monet needs to run. He thought it was to get away, but instead he's called the reinforcements, and there's the Sharpshooter. Oh, no. Nothing to say. He comes in through. He's going to have to be a little bit careful, backing away for the moment. Bobica and X-Nova here just kind of trapped into the center as Pyke even joins the fray. Pops the Unleash. Is going to rip right through the Enchantress, and Bobica just pulled right back in. 3 dead for G2.iG. That is, okay, one of the better gates I've seen in a while, for sure.
That timing is so funny, too, because they went into the triangle, they see Darkseer, they're literally moments from jumping the Darkseer, and then the Underlord gate comes through and it's like, how about a carry Sven instead? And they're like, yes, that's way better than a Darkseer off lane. Insta-kill that Sven, and that tower pretty low after that, too. They did back off for now, but Underlord Weaver on the way back up. Yeah, I mean, look, that tower's full health, so not only did you pick up 3 kills, you know, you're now going to get this safe lane tier 1, and it was a really even game, like, just 5 minutes ago.
10-minute damage dealt. Hoodwink every single game. This is why the hero is the most contested, most picked hero, not most contested, but most picked hero of the event so far, with such an incredible win rate. It is ridiculously strong.
Just press Q.
Just press your Q on a hero, guys. It's that good.
Yeah, you think Hoodwink is a high skill hero. It's like, oh, Bushwhack, kind of hard. Like, oh, do you plant the tree? Do you not plant the tree? It's like, just press Q. Just press Q. Q pressed.
Nice chains. Thank you, Observer, for doing that, because I completely forgot that I made that point earlier. But now I feel vindicated. I forgot about. I feel vindicated. I'm like, at least I was right, you know?
Yeah, all right, so we were talking about how G2.iG might have this early momentum. Ooh, Clockwork falling. Now the bottom tower. This catapult's still alive down here? What? That's crazy.
I must have been really pushed in from the fight top, because Darkseer,
yeah,
I think, was still down here the whole time.
Yeah, or maybe it was like they did a small pull, because there's actually some neat tricks you can do to delay the catapult quite a lot. But okay, it is gonna fall now. Underlord ult going in real deep.
I mean, he gets on the Pit of Malice. Can he actually chase
tier 2
this?
though?
Nah. Yeah, it's a little bit of a dive. They'll just settle for the tier 1 tower. I mean, you talked about the fact that Marcy, not a hero that ramps super early, but she is top of the net worth. Pyke has been involved in a lot of kills on this Marcy.
3-0-4. Yeah.
And Battle Fury's done, baby. That is a 12-minute Treads Bracer Battle Fury.
I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? She's 6,600 net worth over the Sven, and she just got the Battle Fury. Sven has started with the Battle Fury, and he's behind the Marcy. So at this point, like I was saying, oh, maybe Sven might, you know, get past her, all that. I don't think he ever does now. They both have the same cleave farming ability. You're going to have to find a really nice fight to pull yourself back into this.
I think Sven's going to build for a little bit more of a greedy items, right? Like, a lot of times you got, like, the Echo Saber, Mask of Madness. Marcy's probably going straight BKB. Nothing to say, a Blink gets right on top of El Misho, but he survives. The mech is out from Vitaly, and now they turn it around onto the Tiny. The Sharpshooter comes through with a counter mech here as well, but it's not enough. There's too much damage. Pyke's in, baby. He's got himself the Enchantress, the Dispose to secure the kill. It is looking grim for G2.iG at the early points of this game. Yeah, I mean, he's got the Mask of Madness going for the Echo Saber as expected on this Sven. I have to imagine Pyke just goes BKB and just fights with his team. 14-minute
I think
Wisdom
so.
Rune. I mean, we're already at a pretty massive XP disadvantage, and they are going to get double Wisdom Rune again. They are going to try and fight here on the bottom side of the map. As Pyke, however, TPing out. Oh, so close. I like that they do put a defensive ward on the high ground here. Like, the ward vision here from G2iG is actually really smart. But it just, they're a little bit too far behind. There goes, nothing to say here once again. Gets on top of Misho, delivers this hoodwink to the Sven. Vessel out from the Weaver. Bobica here trying to trap Moose in place and hold him here for his team to close the gap. Ends up bonking into another cog, but Moose, he's got backup in Vitality, and here come the reinforcements once again. The slide chains onto 2 as Pyke trying to jump here in on top of the Tiny. The Surge, is it going to be enough? No, the Vessel will burn him down as now they look for X Nova. Unleash already committed here from Pyke. He just needs to get his hands on the hero. The rebound is in. Nice dodge, but it's not going to be enough to save you. Another 2 kills for Beast Coast off of this Fiend's Gate.
Underlord, I think almost every Underlord ult has been bringing people into the fights, which is totally doable, but we usually see the other way where Underlord is off on his own. But I actually really like the way they're using it this time, because they're making sure Underlord Aura is already in the fight and not showing up after his team is already half dead.
Yeah.
And they're just bringing in, well, whoever's not already with him, which has been like the Marcy, or it's been the gank squad of like the Ember, Hoodwink, Weaver. It's really cool.
Yeah, it makes a big difference too. It's a lot of times it catches teams off guard because you just see it less. You play against that type of response less. Moose is just looking for heroes on the top side of the map here. He will find Monet as he's just being a nuisance, right? He's like, no, you can't actually farm this. This belongs to the support Weaver. He is level 9,
position 5
dude.
Support Weaver, right?
All right, Marcy on the bottom side here, found by Bobica. He needs to get out of here. There's going to be disposed. The TPs are coming. Does he get the rebound? He does not. That is an amazing kill, but in comes Lumpy, trying to just chase down these 2 supports. JT on the run. Gonna burn here to the Weaver. As Moose will look for more, Bobica will TP on out. A really solid gank from G2iG, an absolutely necessary kill.
Yeah, and you'll take that trade. You lost your Darkseer, but you got that Marcy kill first, and she is worth way more. So they'll buy themselves a little bit more time, which at this point, it's all you need to do.
Oh,
You
unlucky for the Enchantress. The break's
so
gonna make
much
it easy
damage.
for the Weaver to finish the job here. I mean, this Vessel, we talked about it. It's just such a good pickup on Weaver in general. Helps you tank up against Tiny, so it's an absolute like must-pick item. And then you go back for the Atos, so even more HP. And with those 2 items, he can likely survive the burst, but it gives him a ton of early game pressure when you're this far ahead.
Yeah, and these are some pretty tanky heroes. So even without the heal reduction, the usual part of Spirit Vessel, just the percent HP versus Sven, Tiny, even Darkseer nowadays, right? They're straight strength items.
Yeah.
So really, really value item.
Dude,
Kind of clockwork, and they're not even done. The scan connects on the Sven. He is already retreating. Looks like he's gonna be out. Yeah.
Good movement through the trees there. So that ward would have absolutely scouted him otherwise. As bottom, Moose TP's down here. Does need to be a little bit careful if they want to bring the Darkseer. Maybe they could burst him, but if he gets the time lapse off, it's so devastating for that commitment.
Yeah, this is a 1600 health Weaver at this point. It's
With
not
raindrops.
easy. Oh yeah, with raindrops. There you go. Extra value. I think Hoodwink is probably their easiest kill.
Yeah, agreed.
And then actually Ember, if they can get the chain stun, which is the hard part for them. They have lockdown, but it's not like the longest duration, the easiest to chain. You got things like battery assault, you know, which it definitely works.
Top lane, they made a play on a Pyke, and it's gonna get punished as Vitali comes through the portal. I mean, maybe Pyke was just making the play. I don't really know who got who, but either way, ends up with a death for the Tiny. Sven has now finally passed the Marcy, just spending a ton of time off the map farming, which isn't, you know, what Sven does. It's pretty standard stuff.
Have you seen Bodyguard come into play, like, noticeably? I'm sure it's doing stuff in the fights. I'm having a hard time seeing it.
I have to imagine it's just, you use it kind of like the, oh my gosh, what's the neutral item? You kind of just play it as if it's the Defiant Shell, where it's like you just get a free extra attack. You don't really like plan around it. You just cast it on a hero that's next to you in the fight, and you're like, yep, I'll just get an extra attack on this hero for free if they, you know, do something, you know?
Gotcha, yeah.
So
and in the
meantime,
meantime,
go
you just
in
have
with the Ember and the Underlord.
Yeah, and otherwise you're just using it for the lifesteal and the base attack damage, which is different from last patch, where it was the flat damage. So now it's actually better scaling as a core. Oh, she's going to work on that Basher. You were talking about how Sven's just not going to do anything.
Sven did buy his BKB, so he disassembles into the BKB. They want to fight. They will scout it there with the ward as well, so they know that this big rotation is coming to the bottom side, and Underlord's going to grab 2 inside of the Pit of Malice. There's going to be the Bushwhack, the Tiny Cut as well, but they toss in Vitaly. Can he get the heals off in time? The mech's there, but the damage from the Sven is just too damn much. Moose trying to rip through Bobica. They've got Lumpy on the backside, just chain stunning them up. Moose actually out of mana, forced the time lapse. He doesn't have it. They get 1 kill, they get 2 kills, they get 3, and the rest of G2.iG is out. Really good moves from these backline here. Like Lumpy and the Weaver actually just holding 3 or 4 heroes of G2.iG back.
I missed if they had an observer down already, but Beast Coast saw that rotation coming in, either through a ward or just, you go, great game sense, and they were already rotating in, which means that Underlord jump, they do eventually kill him, but it took a while. I mean, one, it's an Underlord reducing your base damage. He has a mech. He has some extra armor from his items. He even picked up Dragon Scale, so it did take them a while to kill him, and because his team had already came in, they managed to find 3 kills in return, and you're pretty happy with that trade.
Nothing to say. He's going to go in. He's got Pyke, pulls him really far back, but he's got a BKB.
Nice BKB.
He pulls back Monet, and in comes Vitaly. Monet's forced to BKB as Bobica is going to trap the high ground off here with a really nice plays Cogs. Pyke somehow kills Tiny on the bottom side of the map. They find him. Another Searing Chains to hold this clockwork in place. Hook shots up to the high ground. Ooh, that almost managed to finish the job. Yeah, Tiny dies bottom here. It's just Weaver and Marcy just run right through him.
I really like this Mage Slayer purchase from Lumpy. It's coming back into meta a bit because there are some powerful spellcasters. I wouldn't have necessarily thought of it this game as like, oh, they have a lot of spell damage. But if you think about the fact that you're pretty ahead, then a lot of the kill threat from G2.iG is the burst from the Tiny along with like Ion Shell. So by reducing that, it's like, what do you have left? You're not doing physical damage into our Underlord. We've now taken away your spell damage between the Mage Slayer and the Pipe. So how are you doing this? You've got to find a pick off on just like one hero, but we have the global rotation of Underlord. It's so hard for G2.iG now to find a really good fight.
And Underlord has a pipe too, right? So instead of going for the Guardian Greaves early, he went back for the pipe, and he's gonna actually go for a Crimson Guard next. One of the few heroes that loves building this item. I know we saw Clockwork with one queued up as well. I don't know if he's actually finished it, but either way, he's going there eventually.
Not finished, and it's a little bit more expensive than it used to be, so he's still like over 1,000 away. And unfortunately, as a support Clockwork, it'll take him some time. It will be really good though versus this Marcy, who punches really fast, Weaver multi-attack, Sleight of Fist.
This is gonna be close. Okay, they got it. Never mind. The Guardian Greaves is enough. I was like,
does it work on Acorn Shot?
Does what work on Acorn Shot? The
Crimson Guard active?
No way. Vitaly finds him, dude. JT. They steal the Tormentor, but what a good read from Vitaly. A really deep Fiend's Gate just to cut him off.
I love the carry contribution. Pyke pops out of the gate, one taps Darkseer, immediately goes back to farming.
Bye. Yeah. I mean, stealing the Tormentor is a pretty sick play. you know, they're all in Roshan, and Bobica gets the shard, which is fantastic. We saw El Misho get it earlier, so the Hunter's Boomerang online, even more burst damage for their team now.
Yeah, you got to find value somewhere. We were talking about, it's really difficult to find pickoffs or team fights. So you can try to farm, and then the objectives like Tormentor you can try to steal. So good that G2.iG is trying to find something right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All right, I mean, you've got this Enchantress, which like does technically scale, but you have so many counters to her. Just like the carry Marcy, she can have no problem dealing with Untouchable, but also the break from El Misho is definitely problematic. We're seeing nothing to say close in on his phylactery, but here comes Weaver, gets on top of X Nova. He's gonna try and TP. There's the Atos. No way he makes it out of it. And Pyke coming through with the typical carry contribution, couple auto attacks. Wait a minute. Wait, just leave her there. She can't get down.
Yeah, I think
okay,
it's...
never mind.
Well, okay, she had the Hurricane creep actually. When the cooldown's down,
yeah.
she could Hurricane back off. Maybe they had a quick discussion on that. They were faster than us on it.
Yeah, I forgot. The Wild Wing Ripper.
Yeah, I love the attempt, though.
Creep, you know?
She tried to cliff Marcy, which, unfortunately, Marcy's one of the better carries at getting down, but it's still funny. It's a mental victory, you know, in the game like this. Well, you can't... So beastcoast firmly in control of this game, finding another kill here on the Clockwork, 13k lead. But you do still have to be careful going high ground. This is like the Darkseer, Vacuum Wall, Illusions, which are stronger because you're doing so well. The Sven, AoE, Great Cleave, Tiny Crash Landing, right? The combo is there, so you do still have to respect the high ground. And I think you just take it slow. With the BKBs, I think you're relatively safe from that combo, especially if you just send Marcian. But you just got to make sure you don't get sucked in and feel way stronger than you are, and then all get deleted together.
Damage? Bruh. That's a sad one. Ember.
They've taken 2 towers, though.
Yeah, those are just, I guess, just catapults. I'm not really sure. That's or it's Enchantress creeps. Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, I saw her running the troll to take the top tower earlier.
Oh,
so.
I guess it doesn't count as Enchantress damage. All right, slightly misleading stat there then.
Sad Enchantress noises. Aghanim Scepter close to being finished here onto the Marcy, which, I mean, that Ags is so annoying to play around. Oh, it is done. Okay. So Unleash applying an AoE silence every single time she casts a spell or the Unleash combo finishes. We're going to see her just go in, and the backside's just, yep, getting silenced up. Sharpshooter not going to connect, but they are now looking for the tower. Fortification's going to come through, of course. Will be refreshed if they decide to go for the melee barracks. But with Clockwork being down, a little bit difficult to defend. But they don't want to commit any further. Okay, back to the farming we go. The line drawn. Did you see that from Vitaly? He's like, don't let them pass this section of the map. They are not allowed out of the base.
Yeah, I like it. You definitely don't want to let them out of the base. I think they're really close to their best chance at fighting back on G2.iG, which they'll have the Crimson Guard on Clockwork. I think that's the last piece they need. They have the crit on Sven, so at this point you're hoping for like a big combo and then some big crit cleave hits on whoever you vacuumed. But you do want this Crimson Guard to help mitigate a lot of the damage.
They're actually smoked up here baiting this Wisdom Rune, and it's kind of nice. The question is, will they find anyone? Aegis expires, moves here in the mid lane. He actually has his 4-staff backpacked, probably by mistake. Not realizing. Oh, there it is. Yep. There, pops it in. Okay. So, they finally get a Wisdom Rune here on G2.iG. as they will smoke again. I mean, that's 2 back-to-back smokes. You've got to get something. The Dire scan just off the mark. Moose here to pop it. They do get the hook shot on through, and Moose kind of take it, but Pyke just lays into Monet. He can't stand his ground at all. He's on the run. The rebound comes out, and Pyke just destroys the Sven. Bobica falls onto the backside. 1v1 up against Lumpy. Oh, that is not the carry, Sven, you were hoping for. Basher, Marcy, just too much damage.
I mean, this is not a sight you see often, but the enemy carry, Marcy, actually has more health than Sven. That's actually usually one of the strengths of Sven. He's like so tanky, does damage, so you have a chance at bursting people. But this time you see he jumps in and just does nothing. Same thing on the Weaver. They jump the Weaver with the Tiny. Weaver's full health at the end of that fight. Yeah. That is, that's a position 5 Weaver. You can't kill him. Who can you kill?
This all starts with those early game rotations, right? The couple early kills that they found, and then that fight at the Wisdom Rune is what really snowballed this game for Beast Coast, because these supports ended up so over-leveled and so over-farmed compared to the G2.iG supports. Level 11 on the supports to the 16 of Beast Coast. Like, that stuff adds up tremendously.
Yeah, it's a snowbally game, and like if we go back to that Wisdom Rune steal especially, where the Beast Coast supports ended up like a level or 2 ahead of G2.iG, if instead Enchantress is even level or even higher level, then her creeps are stronger, which means your tower dives are better, your tower pressure is better, right? You can impact the lanes better, and now your team, it looks way different than what we're seeing right now, which is that once you're behind on Enchantress, who is supposed to win early, right? A Clockwork who is supposed to win early, that was your game plan. And they were kind of doing it for the first 5 minutes. They dove that tower, and it massively backfired on them.
Oh, man. The global AoE roots coming out from Vitaly now as he finishes his Aghanim Scepter. One of the better Ags, and I'm really happy this thing's finally in a point where it's viable. So a lot of people just ignored this thing. But when you pick up that AoE, the Pit of Mallet slows talent as well, this thing is impossible to play around. Like, Pit of Malice slows at 15. You have the AoE root followed up by a second Pit of Malice. And if you don't BKB out of it, you're just dead. Speaking of dead, JT gonna get found here by Moose and Pyke. The Abyssal Blade for safe measure. As now that Underlord has everything he wants, he's finally gonna go back for those Guardian Greaves. But you can see this is the Hoodwink Impact, dude. She is almost the same net worth as the enemy mid lane. There's the Pit of Malice coming out from that Fiend's Gate. He's just trapped the Clockwork. The rest of the team able to get away, but a second Pit of Malice as Bobica will burn here to the side of Beast Coast.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Weaver TPing into the outpost blind. They had 3 G2.iG heroes look at the Weaver and decide we should try to kill that Weaver, and then Weaver killed them. So you really don't have much going for you right now.
I did not realize that G2.iG only has 4 kills, dude.
Yeah,
I haven't really looked at the kill score. Like, we've just been watching Beast Coast style around the map, but G2.iG, when was the last time they actually got a kill?
Their fourth
20-minute mark.
20 minutes.
It's been 13 minutes with no or 12 minutes with no kills. I mean, it really feels that way, right? Like, it really does seem like Beast Coast have been completely controlling the map.
Yeah. I mean, you play this one out, you hope for that Wombo combo, but going into game 2, you just know your early game has to be better, because that's what led to this state of affairs. But, you know, you play it out to see if there's a chance.
They're going Conda, Tiny, Elmisha. What?
Wrong toss target.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, they're just going to turn it around. They see Monet here. There's the Pit of Malice. Pyke's going to come in. He's got the Abyssal. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Monet able to make it up for the moment. Gets the blink. The second Pit of Malice comes through as Lumpy's just going to jump into the backside. And Pyke still has his eyes set on the prize. It's the Sven. That is going to be GG as G2.iG. Your base does not belong to you. Oh my goodness, Beast Coast, an incredible performance. 37-4.
That's a
Keep this, keep their team kind of drawn in this series. That would be best case scenario for them, of course, as they definitely need to win. Don't want to be at the bottom of this group. We're going to see the calling dance of the... I mean, honestly, that is the only facet from Muerta. The other one's a massive bait. Twisted Chakram, sidekick for the support Marcy makes sense. And, of course, the Crits Krieg, big, big fan of that one. Demon's Reach, Corrosive Dragon. I don't even know how to say that word. I'm not going to try. Shield of the Scion and Tailwind. Okay, so really nothing too out of the ordinary for the facets. I think all of these kind of make the most sense. Bobica going for a deep ward here, actually. I love this a lot.
And actually, Shield of the Scion's probably really good here this game because of the carry Muerta. And then even Ember and Timber. If you get a good Skywrath ult and maybe Moose picks up a Glimmer Cape, that's a very powerful shield.
That is a nice jump here on the JT. He's going to go ahead and Timber Chain up to the high ground. He should be able to TP in a moment, but...
Yeah, they're just going to waste his time a little.
Yeah, they're going to waste his time, waste his mana. He does see the Shadow Demon on a ward, so he's going to be able to TP just fine.
Yeah, that would have been such a sick cancel.
I think that was even runes. Oh, no, they get 3 on G2.iG. All right, that's nice. 3 bounty runes to start. And a little bit interesting. Nothing to say actually takes the first point in Sleight of Fist in this lane, which we do not see that often against the Dragon Knight. It's almost always that first point in the Flame Guard, and you just shove the wave. A little bit of an audio issue potentially here for G2.iG. But I feel like this favors Dragon Knight. His first wave should go well.
Yeah, that's... Well, I guess it might help you keep your distance too, because in these early levels, I do think the Flame Guard's not that strong, so Dragon Knight can get through it, and then with the Corrosive Dragon effect... Well, I guess he doesn't even have a level 1 yet, actually. I was going to say you kind of get to keep your distance with the Sleight of Fist, but... I don't know. Maybe we'll see some sick dodges on the Breathe Fire coming out.
Potentially. Yeah, I think the lanes are going to be very important for G2.iG. I don't think they can afford to actually fall behind here, right? Like we saw last game, what happens when this Underlord has like momentum, and we already have like kind of talked enough about this like Skywrath Mage DK, which I just now realized this is 4-position Shadow Demon. So Shadow Demon is being played by El Misho, and it's going to be Moose on the 5-position Skywrath instead. So thinking, I guess, maybe it's more of a priority to give the Shadow Demon that early farm. And you did mention he can stack really well for the Underlord, and he has gone the Cleave talent, or the Cleave facet.
Yeah, I think... Well, I don't know. Actually, Disruption could have been a cool save top. Like, if Marcy tries to commit, you can Disrupt to save. But... I guess if you have a Silence point on Skywrath, it's kind of similar. You silence the Skywrath, or the Timber. He's not coming in to do anything. So, yeah, maybe it is just about being up here and getting more stacks on the Shadow Demon. Or maybe later on they want more items from the Shadow Demon than the Skywrath.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because if El Misho gets like a really decent timed like Blink Dagger or even an Aether Lens, it ruins this Muerta's game, legitimately. JT, we've seen Timbersaws play around that high ground tree quite a bit. When you fall into danger, you start to get low, you just Timber Chain up there. No one can really get to you.
You only get to do it once, though.
Yeah, the tree's gone now. But still pretty funny. Good lane drag here from Bobica to try and give them a little bit of space here in this lane. As we did mention, it's going to be pretty easy for the Wind Ranger into this Timbersaw.
And my worry is, I feel that Marcy as a support... I guess I kind of said this as a carry too, but I feel that as a support, she's very early game dependent. You want kill potential. And when you don't have that, I feel like you have a rough game. especially if you're being first-blooded.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you don't really see Shackle come out level 2 on Wind Rangers that often, but there's not a lot Boboka can do there. He's got nowhere to go. Like, the creep wave is not next to him, and Timbersaw's not next to him. That's a big win. As
Pike did end up missing a little bit of CS under the tower for it, but
yeah.
maybe that's why Boboka thought it was like okay to be up there. It's like he's not gonna leave that. Like carries can't leave farm. It's not possible. But in fact, he's
actually
breaking new ground.
Yeah, JT actually went for an early point in the reactive armor, which we don't see that often from Timbersaws. A lot of times it's just 4-4-0 just to get as much damage output as possible, but
I think against these two heroes it makes sense.
Yeah.
Two long-ranged heroes that you don't really want to jump on top of because, I mean, you might get silenced, you might win run away, and then maybe you're the one in trouble. So looking to just sustain through it with the early point in reactive armor. I'd be surprised if we see many more points, though.
yeah, I agree. Who's going to win the click? I think, ooh, I really thought it was Io. Okay, never mind. Well done, Vitali. I mean, that's big, right? Io having Lotuses are twice more efficient, so it's a big deal denying the Lotus away from the side of G2.iG there. And they also get the wave drag on El Misho, so the wave is going to be in a very good spot.
Imagine if you were Mirana with 20% more effective Lotuses, though.
Wow. El Misho knows there's a ward here. He's really trying. Oh, well, wait a minute. I guess he just says, screw it, I'm going to go harass the Muerta. Boboka top lane just gets ran down again. Moose gets the kill. I love the Hasta Luego one. That one is very good. So far in the oh, El Misho. Okay, maybe bit off a little more than you could chew. Should have just stuck with the D ward.
He actually still hasn't removed. I guess he didn't even suspect it, but it's weird not to throw like a casual poison just to check.
He did check, and he was just trying to get it with like the, you know how you can just get close to the cliff and sometimes you'll get vision of it. He was doing that, and he did see it for a moment, and then I think just said, screw it, I'm gonna go stop Monet from farming.
Yes, so the other idea is that since there's no sentry in this area, they won't suspect this sentry's here blocking this camp if he doesn't deward it. And he has time to deward it a little later. Got him killed a little bit, though, so.
Seeing some early aggression here in mid as Boboka comes through. Nothing to say. Falling a little low. I mean, he's kind of struggling in the lane. And there was another TP actually canceled into the mid lane. But overall, it's a decent start. It's really just JT's Timber that's struggling at the moment. He should be able to recover typically with Timbersaw, but Scarf Mage is a lot of magic damage. And those raindrops do not last very long against this hero. Mid lane, NTS falling super low. He dies to the poison burn. And now looking for Boboka. I mean, gets the dispose to try and save him. No way to really chase.
That's a really good kill for
wow.
Beast Coast. I feel like we saw that last game as well. And now Dragon Knight's almost 6. He's actually going to get it off this cat. Oh, he's so close. He's so close. He could be 6 right now hitting the tower.
They're going to go in. Boboka has the dispose. Dragon Tail comes out. He turns around here onto the Marcy. He has the damage. I think the burn. Oh, the high ground miss from Moose. I don't know if that was the miss or just the exactly same timed wand, but either way, he's going to live. Nice Searing Change there, holding Lumpy back. As the 6-minute power rune comes, they're going to scan bottom. It's top, and it will be scouted. Amplify damage just taken away. And, I mean, this is a really good rune for the Skywrath as he comes top. JT has no idea what the Skywrath's coming with.
That's true. They don't even know what rune it was.
Muerta starting to do really well in the bottom lane. Up to 40 CS, 14 denies. Who's hiding in the trees here, looking for an opening. We'll go ahead and throw some spells here into JT. Again, the raindrops just keep protecting him, keeping him alive for now, which is quite nice.
Wisdom runes. Doesn't look like anything's crazy happening. Just a 1-1 split. Baboka has gotten some ancient stacks, hard stacks in. Marcy's unfortunately not a great stacker. She can't do the duo stack. No skill for it.
Yeah.
So these are a little less efficient stacks than usual. I feel like could have been one strength of picking Muerta as the support instead of Marcy. But Muerta's winning her lane, so...
Yeah, I feel like into the Underlord, it's definitely a better stack. We're going to see an Obs ward actually place right in the hard camp there to not only scout it, but to maybe deny any more stacking. I think he saw him make that rotation over, because there is a dire ward that would have scouted him. Yeah.
He's trying to get the D ward. He's taking half his health from this stacked camp instead.
Yeah. Oh, Focus Fire top lane comes out. They're going to start laying into this Timber Saw. 1-point reactive armor. Is it enough to keep him alive? The Timber Chain doesn't get the Javelin proc, and the power shot off the mark. He's out. Very well played there from JT. As the Power Rune comes out, El Micho gets a haste. That's going to get him away from Bobica, or maybe just kiting him out. Dispo, or rebound off the mark now as Vitaly makes the rotation in. Pit of Malice and the Firestorm. 4 stacks of poison will finish the job, as now looking for X-Nova. Normally, you don't think Shadow Demon haste is that scary, but my god, you can't get away.
Mid lane. Tether out.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. The silence, the breathe fire amp. As they really want this mid tier 1 tower.
Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah, Lumpy's 1 level ahead off that kill earlier, and he's got 3 points in Worm's Wrath, so they do a lot of tower damage when he gets to hit this, and I think they're probably going to get it on this creep wave right here, unless more heroes come in.
Yeah, the 4 points in that corrosive is so good. And then he's going to get the disruption off. I think they go back to melee form, though, as soon as the dragon ult ends, but you don't get the illusion burn anymore. Wait, what? Why was there 2 chakrams there? Did you see that? Wait, what? What just,
Was
what?
it the twisted one? Was it the twisted chakram?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking. I was looking somewhere else.
Huh?
Was it not
Did they
one regular
change how-
chakram, one twisted chakram?
I mean, but they were both stationary. I'm confused. Doesn't Twisted Chakram, like, just throw out?
I'll keep an eye on it.
What? What?
That was weird. Okay,
What?
I saw that one. I don't know what just happened there.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
Maybe there's a visual bug.
Oh, no. What is
That
going
was a
on?
little wacky.
Something is
10-minute
wrong
rune?
with the Chakrams. Okay, we'll see what's going on. It's all the Chakrams, like, returning to the middle of the map every time, but the distance that is equivalent with Timber Saw. Now, whether or not the damage is colliding on that, we'll have to see, but that looks very odd.
Dire are scanning.
Shield rune on the top side. They did manage to take the mid tier 1 tower. It's a slight gold advantage here for Beast Coast. They know about this stack in the triangle, but the Dire triangle already being taken by the Underlord. We know this baby's got tons of damage. 4 points in the Firestorm. 7 stacks. I mean, actually more stacks on the side of G2.iG at the moment.
Radiant structures.
I mean, they've got to play recovery for Timbersaw. He's had a really rough start.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, but at least Muerta's at the top. So they've got that going for them.
Oh, beautiful rotation here onto X-Nova. The Demonic Purge comes through. They didn't get him on the Pit of Malice. It wasn't available at the moment, but will catch the IO now. And they will have plenty of damage to finish the job. Vitaly credited the kill.
Monet runs into Pyke. Pyke's just focus firing him down. Gonna pop the ult to try to live and TP out. Rude
he's
in
out.
time? No.
Very nice
Long
TP from
channel
Monet.
time.
It is kind of sad that that is like your first ult. Top lane, Lumpy reveals his Blink Dagger here, going for Bobica. Okay, Twisted Chakram's broken. I don't know what's going on here. It's not working.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know if maybe it's just a visual bug and it is working, but it's just throwing. Yeah, it looks like my observer is saying yes. I don't know. It's very weird. Okay, it is working. It's just a visual bug.
Attack.
Very odd. I'm sure it's fine for the
Radiant's
players.
bottom tower has fallen.
I feel like he would have paused and been like, hello? What's going on here? So maybe it's just fine. Maybe it's fine.
Are scattered.
Okay.
That's a weird one. That's never seen that before.
It's alright. Game's in beta. I'm sure it's fine.
Well, off this start, 4K lead at 12 minutes is pretty good for Beast Coast, but actually I think better than last game for G2iG. Really says something. Lumpy has his blink. I think a Muerta kill would be perfect because right now that's the main thing G2iG has going for them. Both playmakers or like space creators are having a bit of a rough time. So if you can now just take down the carry with the Skywrath ult,
Yeah.
they might run exactly into
they
the perfect
saw
target.
him.
But there's a lot of heroes here.
They saw him. They know exactly where he is. Oh, wait, his smoke pops. And IG's actually behind them, smoked up, so they know something's up. All right, nicely done. I mean, they are
close
getting
enough
good
to
farm
pop
on the
his
Muerta.
smoke?
Radiant's top
Maybe
tower
it,
is
I mean, I
under
guess it didn't seem like he was, but his smoke definitely popped. Vitaly here, maybe in trouble. They're gonna relocate in as well. The Underlord, a fantastic pick off. The Pit of Malice doing some work, pops the mech, but he cannot get out of this one. And the team to split on the side of Beast Coast at the moment to pull them in with the Fiend's Gate.
And Monet picks up another. I mean, he doesn't have the shard yet, but carry Muertas do pick it up later, and that's another retroactive charge to give you more damage and spell lifesteal. Or the spell lifesteal is flat, I think, right? It's the spell lamp that
It's the spell,
stacks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Monet is farmed, right? It's a carry Muerta. She's got the Maelstrom going straight for the Gleipnir, and she's doing quite well, sitting at the top of the net worth now. It's the rest of the team that's a little bit struggling. I kind of wonder, like, if it's worth even trying to go for the Muerta, or if you should just keep punishing Timbersaw and the Ember Spirit, you know, with this, like, Blink DK. And we haven't seen them get as active this game as in previous games.
Yeah, I think their draft is a little better for it last game, and almost mandatory with a Marcy carry. Wind Ranger
Yeah.
farms a bit better, so they can take it a little slower, along with the support duo being a bit different. But they do seem to be looking aggressive Underlord.
That's
ult.
an unfortunate location for that Fiend's Gate. It ends up going onto the low ground because you can body block him if he places it on the wall or on the pathway there. Like, he can't actually pass through the gate.
Yeah, that could have been cool. Maybe they were also hoping like Disruption was just in range, that you kind of timed that. But that worked out for G2iG. They do want to play catch up right now, and they're slowly cutting down this gold lead. So the more fights they can avoid right now, the better.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
All right, their own smoke looking top.
This is... Does have Demonic Purge, but with everyone coming through, he's going to throw the Cleanse on himself. Oh, he doesn't have Cleanse. I don't know what that was. Oh, it was Dissimulate. Or the,
Yeah, self-dissimulate. I'll relocate, bringing in the Muerta.
That big Searing Chains up from nothing to say. On top of Moose, just barely left the mark. Lumpy comes in with the blink. They just drop the ult from Skywrath Mage to get away, but in a little bit of trouble. Great Pit of Malice here from Vitaly. Monet and them are going to go back here with the Relo, and they're just going to try and chase the Timbersaw. Do they have the damage? They get vision, and the Breathe Fire is going to do it. Man, that actually looks so good for G2iG. I thought they were going to get more, and it ends up being a 2-for-1.
I think the IO relocate was a little conservative, or maybe Beast Coast just had a good retreat from it. But you spent about like half that relocation time just running into the fight, which means Monet did not just get to attack. Oh, cancel the TP.
He has 20 stick charges, but he has no way out. He has a remnant to the right, but that is such a good find from El Misho.
Looking a little reminiscent of last game. Yeah, here's that fight we saw earlier. So you're going to see the relocate come in near this bounty rune, but the fight moves to the bottom right, which means a lot of this time is spent just like walking in. So imagine if Monet pops in like right there and just starts blasting away at these different heroes. Instead, he just gets here, and yeah, everyone's just kind of like retreated away from him, so there's not much to do.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. JT's recovered quite well on the Timbersaw. We saw him sitting at an abysmal net worth early, but there was tons of ancient stacks for him to clear up. He's picked up his Kaya now. As nothing to say with a blade mail this game. Not something we see all that often, but it does give him maybe the ability to prevent focus fire.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, Chalker.
They're making a rotation top.
Dire's top
Pike?
tower is
Scouted?
under
Did he see
attack.
him?
I don't know. Maybe? They don't have a ward
He's
up there,
pinging
right? But,
something. He's very suspicious.
Radiant are
I mean, they see Monet here now. There's the blink. The Dragon Tail comes out. In comes Bobica. The reload will pull them to safety, but the damage comes through. They get the silence. It's the Mystic Flare. He's gone, and Bobica will be next. They're able to cancel the reload out from X Nova. Oh, no. Vitali will just take his victory, go right back to the bottom lane. Classic Underlord.
I guess he must have caught a glimpse or something, but Beast Coast was ready for that. They had all the heroes here ready to react to G2.iG, and believe it or not, when you're about 8k ahead and you take a full-on fight, you tend to come out ahead.
Timbersaw is so dead. This is max silence from Moose, right? I'm sure he's gone 1-1-4 on this Skyrath Mage.
Well, I mean,
right?
he's so high level, he's now 3-1-4, but yeah, he's got the silence
well,
max.
Why not? Yeah, why not? That works out great. So I'm pretty sure the reload might have gotten canceled by Pit of Malice. I couldn't see for sure in that, but that is just such a good find. And Marcy dead to Pike here, as Wind Ranger is definitely online. Full Gleipnir gets himself a Grove Bow for safe measure. Now working towards the BKB. They're in a very good
Radiant's
spot right
bottom
now.
tower is under attack.
You've got so many auras from the Underlord. The Dragonite can be your tower damage with the Corrosive Dragon. You could even focus fire towers if you need to, but you're probably just killing heroes with focus fire and then just shoving in the lanes after that. I'm trying to see what G2.iG can do here. Because the thing is, like, IO's having such a rough time that it's really difficult for IO to stand close in the fights without also just getting killed instantly.
Lumpy going in, or I'm rather getting gone on in the mid lane. He has BKB, and here comes the Underlord again. The Pit of Malice, the silence. Nothing to say, gets out for the moment, but he's burning so fast under this Dragonite's damage, just surviving on 50 HP, but they've got Vitali finally isolated. The Pit of Malice making a lot of problems for them. Bobica helps finish the job with nothing to say, as the rest of the team's got to get out of here. X Nova, oh, barely surviving, but you lost the Muerta. And the I mean, it looks like these fights are going well for G2.iG, and then somehow you look at the deaths and you're like, well, they lost 2 cores somehow.
It comes from just being behind in the lane, right? The fight itself is okay, but when you're 10,000 behind, the Underlord kill just takes so long, and you're focused on that the Muerta ends up getting killed by the equally farmed Wind Ranger. But Wind Ranger's got the focus fire, so she's way better in the one-on-one, especially once Muerta ult is down. So I mean, yeah, here we see it's like, okay, Vitali gets really low, but it takes a long time to finish up. Muerta's just left on her own up there, cleaned up. I guess Ember did get out, right? But he was so close to dying. It was like almost even worse for G2.iG.
One thing I want to point out is if Muerta pops her ult and then gets Shadow Demon disrupted, she will die to the Shadow Demon illusions in like a second. Because they get the transformation bonus, and they will just rip right through the Pierce the Veil. It's one of the reasons Darkseer is like one of the all-time best counters against Muerta. Because if you get the wall on a transformed like Muerta, she just dies instantly to the illusion. So I think that's what happened. He just,
though, right?
Yeah, you have to wait for the transform for the Pierce the Veil.
Okay.
But once that happens, you just get owned. Yeah. Focus fire into the Shadow Demon ult, just pops him.
Ooh, courier kill on the Orchid. That's a pretty nice kill.
Oh, JT.
Might pay with his life, though.
They're just gonna. They're like, well, whatever. No reason to chase. They'll go back to mid lane, save this tier 1 tower. NCS gets a nice rune. Regen does have his Yule's finish, so not as likely to get picked off to the Skywrath Mage and the stuns.
We're gonna go for Roche in the bottom while this is happening. This looks pretty uncontested. I don't think he can fight here.
Yeah. Pyke gonna be going for the Orchid. I like the item this game. Very good against the IO. I mean, Wind Ranger has always been one of the primary picks into IO teams, right? Like, you can just silence up the IO, kill him immediately, and then no way to, like, actually reload save anybody. Oh, dude, does he get a Fiend's Gate? He's thinking about it. He thought about it. Going for that Tormentor play. Mid lane, nothing to say. They are waiting here on Moose and Lumpy. They're going to TP into the mid. Oh. The Marcy Courier effect. Oh, he loses a Javelin. Unlucky. Okay, smoke up. I just want to keep the pressure on. It's not, I mean, the game's not as bad of a state as it was in game 1, but you're definitely worried now that Lumpy and Moose are just going to keep finding heroes. And G2.iG don't really feel super safe unless they see them.
Yeah, you're one bad fight away from this being totally out of control, though. Because right now, Morta is near that top of the net worth, which means she has the items, she has the damage, she's got the Crystallis. You can even sidekick her, right? So she's stronger than usual. And if you can take a really good fight, all focused around Morta, that can be your recovery. But one bad fight, and suddenly Wind Ranger's going to be maybe too far ahead of this Morta. Maybe now the Dragon Knight's too far, Underlord's too far, right? And your most farmed hero can no longer compete. So you kind of have like one more shot at this on G2.iG before you're really dependent on Beast Coast just screwing up. Which, I don't know, they've been looking pretty good. I don't know if you want to
grab onto the
hope
Shadow
on that.
Demon here. That's a good one. JT gets the kill. They have a ward that's scouting Monet and X-Nova on the bottom side of the map, and Lumpy's going to come in, pops the Dragon Tail, or doesn't actually get the Dragon Tail out, but gets the Dragon form. Dragon Tail should come through as he commits the BKB. Will just burn down the IO. Gleipnir comes out onto the Ember. He's going to be able to dodge for the moment, but the Shackle, will it come through? They've got plenty of damage right into the root of the Pit of Malice. Dang, you're like, oh, I got a Yules. I don't have to worry about Silence and Shackle, but yeah, if Underlord's there, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, there's also so many silences that one silence comes out, the next silence is after. Once that Orchid, built, right? Yeah, the Orchid's on the way for Dragon Knight. He had it earlier, but that's the courier that JT killed. But now it is being delivered, and Wind Ranger should be really close to hers. Yeah, like 300, 400 away.
Two tier 2 towers now taken, as mid lane the only one remaining for G2.iG. I mean, they've gotten a lot out of this Aegis already. They have a really deep ward on top side. We saw them place under the smoke with Skywrath Mage, so that's kind of scouting any rotations coming in and out of this base. On the top.
This could be scary. They see Monet moving up to that ancient camp.
Yeah.
They're collapsing.
They are. I mean, he gets the sentry down, but they don't see that one little ward, right? So they have no idea.
Yeah, it's a sneaky spot. You're going to need one of those wonky chakrams to catch it.
Yes, indeed. All right, mid tier 2. They do manage to clear up the catapult, so it shouldn't go down quite yet. The Wisdom Rune actually gets sniped here from JT. It's just been sitting on the other side of the map for a while. Dude, JT going like Blink. He's just constantly trying to rat and pick up as much farm as he can, which it's working. He hasn't actually died in quite a while. But objectives are falling on the side of G2.iG. That is the last tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
If G2.iG can keep delaying this, which they have a lot of experience doing that kind of thing, I do think their scaling starts coming back, right? You have a Timbersaw versus an Underlord Dragon Knight. That's tons of damage. Even the Universal Hero and a Wind Ranger, you do a bunch too. Io, Muerta, Marcy all have insane scaling. So you are playing this wave cutting game. Like you see Baboka going like farm the enemy side of the map. Timber Blink will let him try to cut waves. Yeah, I mean you have to buy all these like short-term items to get as much as you can.
Ooh, nothing to say. You might be bringing that trouble to your Muerta instead. They're going to continue to chase. There's going to be the Atos. They got him. They're going to be like, okay, there's a ward over here. for sure, but they may not know exactly where.
Little do you know there's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reused that sneaky spot they had earlier. They're like, wow, that lived the whole time. Let's just drop another one.
30 seconds on the Aegis. Bobica, I think, is very close to that BKB on, and that will help quite a bit on the Marcy, like allowing him to get in and just fight these supports. Like if he gets on top of the Skywrath Mage, he might actually be able to kill him, but he needs the BKB, right? Like this is the thing with support Marcy. It has to get to the BKB.
Yeah, you can ignore the supports, or you bait Shadow Demon to use Demonic Purge on you, and that frees up your Muerta.
3.8 thousand gold gained during that Aegis. And all 3 tier 2 towers, right? So a lot gained. It's a 13,000 gold lead now for Beast Coast, as they are definitely feeling in control. The Muerta is still farmed, but they are building answers to her. She's got a BKB though. Okay, so a couple BKBs done on G2.iG. Is that enough, Zach, for them to actually take a fight?
I think you still have to wait for Beast Coast to push up, unless you see them split. But right now you're losing all your vision because there's a gem on who has it now? Lumpy. It got passed over to him. So you have very little vision on the side of G2.iG. But if you can bait some rotations, oh
boy, that is a dead nothing. Ooh, he gets out.
Rotations baited.
Okay, that's cool. I thought they would have a second silence, but they did not. All right, very well done.
Yeah, I think you can Remnant faster than Orchid comes out. You would have to have Orchid pre-casted, but I don't think you can target him.
Well, they Demonic Purged him, so he wouldn't have been able to Yules, was the thing. So it's like, I think they just needed to chain silence.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Maybe they can find this Underlord.
This would be a really nice kill. He's got a pipe. He's got an Ogre Seal Totem as well, but he does not get out. That is the damage of this Muerta, and they've actually found Skywrath Mage as well. Moose needs to be very careful. Gonna just try and TP out in the trees, and he makes it. Cheeky TP there. All right, G2.iG finally getting something after a very dry spout. Honestly, not even. I mean, that's their first game. That's their first kill in what, like maybe 10 minutes?
It's been a while. It means it's another stack for the Muerta, though.
Yeah, that's true.
She's at like 3 or 4 now. Wait, do you have to get kills or is it just assists?
I think you have to get the kill.
Oh, okay. So never mind. She's only at 2.
Every coin helps.
All right. Damage potential is absolutely there on the side of G2.iG, right? Like, we know the Muerta does damage. We know the Timbersaw can do damage. Even with, you know, lacking some of the net worth that he'd love to have on JT, Timbersaw is still a very high burst hero. Misho denies an arcane. That's a nice rune to take away from the Ember.
Nemesis Curse on Baboka, so all in on damage, which I think you sort of need to be.
Absolutely.
To have a chance at killing them.
I mean, it's a really good item for him. Like, he just wants to BKB ult and kill a hero. So, I like that idea.
Yeah, which I think Shadow Demon could be a really good target for him. The downside is that Shadow Demon will probably just disrupt himself, and you kind of waste some time. But as long as you as a support are wasting the enemy support time, it kind of works out that hopefully your carry Muerta is doing some damage to someone else who cannot be disrupted saved. And let's see, Roche, pretty long spawn.
Bobica, he's shackled. I mean, they were trying to make a play here onto this Wind Ranger. Instead, Monet has to just BKB and TP home. I don't even know if how they heard or saw them coming through that portal, but really good play. Roshan in a minute and a half, so a little bit of luck here for G2.iG as, you know, Marcy's dead. They're in a really good spot to go for Roshan on Beast Coast, but it's just currently still on cooldown.
Moore just decided to go MKB to have a chance at killing Wind Ranger. These guys just pushing down. They're going to bait Lumpy. He's going to use his ult to hit the tower.
Yeah. They just don't want to give them the ability to defend Like, they know the Roshan is, wasn't there. They're just going to threaten the tower. And my god, Lumpy is doing so much damage now with the help of this Wind Ranger. The jump in here from JT. Disruption to buy him a little bit of space, but now they're going to jump in. Oh, they jump right into the Pit of Malice. Bobika's forced to pop that BKB just to get away. That Mystic Flare had his name on it. And now that they forced out some cooldowns, they forced out the BKB. Look back for Roshan, see if it's there.
Hopefully this timing works out for them, because it's actually about to spawn, but they might check and then walk away when they see it's not up yet.
Someone's gonna wait in there. They know it can't be too long, right?
Right? Hopefully Shadow Demon stays down.
Dire's top tower
I
is
mean,
under
Underlord
attack.
can just Fiend's Gate bottom, and he is just gonna cut this top wave, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I like his play from G2.iG. They're trying to find something right now.
Dire's top tower is
While
under
they assume Beast Coast is camping around Roshan, which they're mostly right. And yeah, they might find the Underlord.
That's a really good pickoff. Very good pickoff. El Micho actually TP's in top for this, but he's got to get back bottom. The Roshan's up. And if G2iG find this out, they can get here much faster. They have a couple TP still available, but they hear the Roshan's roar. Nah, that's it. They're going to give this one up. They're not going to risk taking the fight. Not with Underlord potentially having buyback.
Yeah, they were full retreat mode. Monet BKB TP'd out because they didn't know who was coming in. They didn't have that information. They just know they got an Underlord kill, and we will take that. We will not retreat. And I think it's a decent trade because I kind of expected them to not get anything while Beast Coast got Aegis. So the fact that they at least pick up an Underlord kill is quite nice for them. And did it go to Muerta? No, it went to Marcy. But
oh, man.
Actually, I guess that's kind of okay because Marcy's scaling is pretty good. But you would like that stack on your Muerta.
That's such a nice kill from El Micho. Look at the Tormentor. Bobika gets credited the Shard, which this one's been changed a lot. I honestly don't even remember which one it is now. Is this the you can rebound off of enemies? Yes.
Yeah, it can be used on enemies, and it's a lower cooldown.
Okay.
And Marcy also gets the speed boost.
Okay. It's actually kind of a cool one. If you do just want to like run it like the support, she doesn't have to have an ally go in with her. So.
Yep.
And they got rid of the minimum cast range on it, right? So you can just rebound in place. Looking for
yes,
JT.
but that's not the shard.
Yeah. It's more just quality of life. Oh, they got him on the silence. He gets the blink. Dude, what a Pit of Malice. You're kidding me. Just cuts off the backside. Does manage to survive for now, but in comes the Gleipnir. A second Pit of Malice. JT should be okay here. He's going to make it. Okay.
is under attack.
Dead shot from Monet knocks Pike away, so gets JT out alive. Nothing too big committed there.
Quick blink response from JT. Absolutely necessary, or else he was going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that was still a sick Fiend's Gate, though. Blocking off that path. Almost got them a kill.
AC being worked on here for the Dragon Knight, which it seems a little bit awkward because you're into, a Muerta, but it is just generally a good item on the Dragon Knight. You need it for the high ground push as well. You want to be able to apply that negative armor to the towers. Stacks it up with your Corrosive Breath.
Lincoln's queued up for Ember. I kind of feel like he needs a BKB.
Dire's bottom tower.
All right,
has
still
fallen.
2 minutes and 20 seconds. The AC is done. And honestly, with the Dragon Knight having the Aegis, I think this is a really smart call. He's the one who's going to be on the high ground just hitting the tower, as evident by the fact that he blinks onto the high ground and starts hitting the tower. Send some illusions on the bottom. I mean, that tier 3 bottom is just getting walloped.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're not pushing bottom since they already did most of the work there. They're actually trying to make a smoke play on top.
This is a scary jump, but they actually get a really good find. The Skywrath Mage goes down first. Huge gate onto the backside, rooting up for a second. Pit of Malice comes through. They get the Gleipnir. Monet's forced to ult. They take down the Io. He is going to start laying into the Dragon Knight. Knight, but the Dragon Tail comes through. He gets a good shackle as well. Monet forced to BKB. Lumpy saved by the disruption from El Micho. And he gets the blink out. Oh, no. If you get the Aegis there, this would have been okay, but now in some trouble. You still have a Yule's protecting this dragon. Oh, never mind. He gets caught so quickly with the help of that Bloodthorn. Taken down on the Ember Spirit as buybacks available. You do get the Aegis. As he jumps in aggressively, they get the silence, they get the Dragon Tail. They're just gonna look for Monet, and Pike just chases him down with the BKB. NTS will find the Shadow Demon on the backside, but the chain stun is just way too much. The Gleipnirs, the Dragon Tails, the Shackles, it's just constant.
Doesn't care about objectives.
I mean, a Yule's to buy some space, but guess what? Pike under the cover of his own axe. It's an ultra kill for this Wind Ranger. 4 heroes dead as the IO about to respawn. And Beast Coast might have just punched this as a 2-0. They're going to clean up full lane at Barracks top, and they're just going straight for tier 4 as they know why Megas? We can end the game. They're not buying back. That was a dieback on Nothing to Say's Ember. And that's the GG. Beast Coast have done it. They take a 2-0 here over G2.iG.
Very nice game from Beast Coast. Better performance this time from G2.iG. It was a bit of a closer game, but they were on the back foot for a good